This is about my mother. She was a school teacher at Green Valley Public School, and this is her history from when she was a child to how she got her education and how she became the second black school teacher to Green Valley. Gladys Corene Davis, born January the 29th, 1911, to Mr. Peter Davis and Janetta Jones Davis. Her parents, Peter and Lovey, as she was usually called, owned a 50-acre farm on the 11th concession, about 5 or 6 miles from Dresden. Peter tilled the soil with his team of horses and grew different crops to feed his family. While, like a normal farmer's wife, Lovey was always busy in her vegetable garden, or tending the chickens, or helping to milk the cows. Mother often spoke of a very happy childhood. Her favorite pastime was to climb up one of the farm trees where no one could find her and read one of her favorite books, and no one could disturb her and she had no distractions. Gladys loved school, and she was a very bright student. As years passed, her life's goal came to shape. She wanted to become a school teacher herself. And at that time, there were 3 very big obstacles to overcome. The cost of schooling for any desiring profession, especially for women of color, traveling arrangements, and the necessity of boarding in a bigger city to attend the nearest education facility. And then, if successful in graduating, the biggest problem was limited employment opportunities for black women. But Gladys did not dwell on or allow these problems to deter her. Our mother was a very determined woman. Gladys so excelled in public school, she was promoted to skipping 2 grades, which was a great feat, but would cause another obstacle to overcome later in her education process. Gladys was now an honorary graduate from public school at the age of 12 instead of 14, and qualified to enter secondary school, or entrance as it was called then. This brought the first obstacle to her reality: cost and traveling. To defray both of these, Mom volunteered for extra household duties, whatever she could do. Saving her money and her allowance, she managed to buy, trade, or borrow the necessary textbooks, etc., that she would need for the first year at entrance school. She then contacted the entrance school board and asked for the year's curriculum. She told them of her plan to teach herself at home for the first 8 months, and then enroll and try the finals in June. And of course, this was a very unusual thing, very extraordinary. But the board took into consideration her public school record and understood the cost to the average family budget. They agreed to give her the opportunity and gave her the necessary curriculum, with the understanding she would be tested in May to see how well she managed. Mom religiously set out to not only prove to the school board, but to her parents how serious she was, and maybe they would help her complete her dream. May came around, and with it, the first obstacle: facing her parents for the traveling expenses. I am sure, through much pleading and begging, and also realizing Gladys wasn't going to give up, they relented. Gladys then applied, was tested, and was accepted and enrolled to entrance class. To defray both of these, my notes messed up here. After seeing she was accepted, her dad purchased a new horse for mom's buggy, to transport her to and from entrance school in Dresden every day. In June, Gladys, at the age of 13, wrote the final exams and passed with honors. She went on to finish her secondary education to the 12th form, as it was called then, and became, again, an honorary graduate, now barely 16. Another hurdle in the horizon. Form, or grade 13, was next. This was only taught in Chatham. Gladys's mom and dad did not feel they could afford the cost of mom's traveling daily to Chatham and back. And her mom especially would not allow Gladys to board with anyone because of her age. With no alternative, mom would have to stay home for almost 2 years due to cost and protective parents. But Gladys never gave up her dream. Then, as fate would have it, or more or less mom's prayers, Miss Hilda Carter, later Dungy, approached mom with a challenge. Miss Carter was aware of mom's desires to teach, but also of all the difficulties she faced. At that time, Hilda was teaching at SS number 10 Green Valley Public School. She was the first colored teacher that this school had ever had, and Hilda wanted this to continue. But Hilda had an opportunity for teaching position in the Windsor area, which she wanted to accept. So she told mom if she could finish her training by the next year, Miss Carter would stay at Green Valley and keep her position available for mom to apply after her graduation. Gladys once again faced her parents with this new opportunity. Could mom pull it off? And would they help her? They agreed not to stand in her way, but support her. The last struggle. Her age difference was just barely, her age was just barely 17. And to qualify for teacher's college, or normal school as it was called then, you had to be at least 18. What to do? She couldn't let her age deter her after all else had fallen into place. So, a little gray lie was formed. Mom raised her age 1 year. Mom went directly to normal school in London, where she boarded with a family and completed her training, again with honors. Miss Carter was faithful to her word and stayed the extra year at Green Valley. Mom applied for the upcoming vacancy and was accepted. Later in life, Mother often spoke of her gratefulness to Hilda, again proving the old saying, it's not always just what you know, but who you know.
Right on.
Mom often wondered if it had not been for the thoughtfulness of Hilda, just how hard would it have been to secure employment. So Mom, in her 18th year, became Miss Davis, the new teacher at SS number 10 Green Valley Public School, located on the corner of the 12th and Session in Chatham Township, while also dating a nearby farmer's son and her future husband, Garnet Scott. Gladys, within the next 5 years, was the well-loved teacher of many local family children, such as the Dudleys, the Carters, the Ladds, the Wrights, the Simmonses, the Burnett's, the Travises, the Dufrays, and many more. Mom's salary the first year was $1,000. The second year, she received a $50 raise. But the Depression came and cutbacks were necessary. The third year, her salary dropped from $1,050 to $900. The fourth year, another drop to $800. And then again, the fifth year to $700.
Wow.
So for this reason, Mom decided a change was necessary. She left the Green Valley School and tried her hand at other job opportunities. But this was limited, and nothing was as rewarding to her as teaching. There was a young, talented boy, dancer, named Joey, whose parents were looking for a qualified tutor who could travel with them and keep their son abreast of his studies as he entertained at engagements throughout the area. Mom interviewed for the position and was accepted. Now from here, I'm not sure how many years passed, but during this time, the Green Valley School Board had hired another black school teacher from Stratford and many others. But things were not working out. The school board then reached out to Miss Davis and asked her to return. Now, if I know my mother as well as I think I know my mother, she was aware she had the upper hand. And I'm sure before she agreed to return, she was guaranteed a fair annual salary. Mom remained at Green Valley some years while still dating, and did finally leave her vocation to enter another life goal, marriage to that farm boy, Garnet Scott, on April the 8th, 1939. She was well aware this meant the end of any teaching career, for no married woman was allowed to teach at that time. There was no allowances or benefits for a pregnancy leave or any daycare facilities. Mothers stayed at home and raised their own families. So we, as Mom's children, reaped the benefits of her teaching abilities. Later, she did the farm taxes, became pianist and choir director at the Queen Street Baptist Church, and also she did the census enumerator for the community. And she was the scorekeeper for the Green Valley baseball team, which my dad founded. I can remember two of her former students saying, Donna Wright, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Dresden, and Cecil Burnett, who was a known cement contractor, they would reminisce over their fond memories of Mom as their teacher in school and the smiles it would bring to Mom's face. In closing, I would like to read you a poem written by Glenn Ladd, and just a portion of it, in tribute to our parents. And I thank you for your patience. I thank Dorothy for asking me and the committee for allowing me to share these precious memories. On 11th session lived the Davises, Lovey and Pete. The third girl named Gladys, Garn thought awful sweet. When Garn came to see her, believe this or not, the youngest sister, Dorothy, shouted, "Gladys, here comes Darnett, stop!" For a future career, Gladys trained as a teacher in normal school at London for this special feature. That put her north of here for a little while, from her home that would be nearly 100 miles. Although Garn was a farmer near much of his dating days, he worked a while in Detroit for good factory pays. And saving his money after paying room and board, he bought a new car, a shiny, sharp Ford. To see Gladys in London and her dimpled smile, sometimes Garnet drove over 100 miles. But this handsome Scot, born near the 10th, to see Gladys, he'd drive to most any length. Back to Gladys, before the marital knot changed her name from Davis to Miss Garn Scott. In a school named Green Valley, many children she taught. Their reading and writing and arithmetic. And you know, teaching children is no easy trick. It kept her quite busy just saying her prayers for help teaching children and pleasing taxpayers. It was no easy task in the old country school where sometimes a pupil could act like a mule. But she stuck to her job and withstood the test, and her career as a teacher was no doubt a great success. Thank you.